Hello, everybody. This is Miss T. I hope everyone is doing well. If it's cold where you're at, I hope you're staying warm. We had a lot of snow. Um, that you're spending some time with the Lord and that your day is going well. What I wanted to talk about today is I just um, thought I would take headlines out of the news and talk about them to show the effects of people not loving the Lord, or people not loving each other or themselves. So in California, there was a shooting, at a 2-year-old's birthday party. It was in a center. The mother had a hall that she rent out, and they say there was over 100 guests. You know how we throw birthday parties. They had alcohol and other things going on, but it was her 2-year-old birthday party. So unfortunately, 4 people passed away. I believe it was 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 21-year-old. These were, I believe, powerful rifles or guns, which I always say that there shouldn't be any kind of military weapons on the street. I don't know if you're allowed to have them as collection items. I have no idea, but they shouldn't be on the street. I even think that's kind of disrespectful to people who serve in the army, that you would hand out, they're protecting the United States, world, whatever, and they could come home and possibly be held up or shot with the same gun that they're protecting the country with. I just think that's disrespectful. But anyways, so people are saying all kinds of things, that it was gang related. They were shooting at. There was a rapper there. I don't remember what his name was, but he must have been maybe in his area or California. He's more popular than anywhere else, because one of the kids, 14-year-old, he was shot because he was trying to shake his hand or get a picture or whatever, and that's how he got shot. Now, obviously, these people or this person intended to do what they did without any kind of remorse or no any kind of thinking. Because if you just wanted to go after one person, and he could have waited until he came out the party, or stood and wait till the person went in the party, or anything, left the parking lot, anything. But this person or persons decided that they were going to go inside where kids were supposed to be having fun, and shoot, and whoever got in the way was going to be collateral damage. And they didn't care. For people not to even care about little kids, not to even care about the fact that they're innocent. I don't care who they're related to. I don't care who their parents are. I don't I don't see any connection. That, of course, I guess the way to hurt someone is to do something to somebody they love, but to have the mindset like that, to have a mindset like that, um, is the most is just evil. It's just, you can remember when you were a kid. Um, you can remember all your childhood memories, and whether they were exciting or not, but you're not allowing innocent people to have a life, um, because that's someone else that you don't like. That it just sounds so, nobody's safe, because had there been infants or newborns at the party, um, they didn't care. Really, whoever whoever got in the way was just going to be hurt. But I believe whomever that they were shooting at, I believe that person did get shot, but he lived. And they said they found rifles on top of the building. They arrested 4 people, but they are not saying that it's related. And then you know how people get out and start telling what they think they know. And so they're saying that the lady who threw the birthday party for her 2-year-old had dated all 3 of the guys in the gang, has children with 3 of the guys in the gang, which I don't know if they're trying to say that it was, they turned on each other. I don't know why that was announced, but yeah, so I guess they're trying to paint a picture for us that when you're doing shady dealings, and with the seedy streets, that all things are just turmoil. If she does have 3 kids by all 3 of them and their friends, yeah, that sounds pretty horrible to people who don't know. I don't know I don't know how they live. I don't know what is proper or whatever. I don't know. All I know is that some children were excited because they were going to a birthday party, and some of them did not make it home. And there's people who probably are, I don't know if they're on, they usually go on the internet to brag about what they've done. I don't know if they've done that, but it's like, how do you brag? How do you justify? How do you make it sound like you're a man or top whatever? What are they called? Hitters? I don't know. When you're taking out children, when kids' lives are being taken, that to me doesn't sound like it should be, that you would want that on your resume. What does it take to, there's, kids cannot defend themselves. So you're basically aiming at people who aren't going to aim back. So I don't see where you get the whatever you're supposed to get. out of that. I know we people just don't have anything to feel like they live for, or anything to strive for, or anything, because if you did, you wouldn't try to waste it away. Now, obviously, most people who do gun violence this way do get caught, because the man said he turned around and seen the man's face while he was, shooting, and he actually shot he was the father of the 14-year-old. And so you're going to be caught, and then you're going to go and sit in jail for the rest of your life, or perhaps worse. And then you have all the years or whatever to think about what you did and why you might feel now that it wasn't worth it. Because I don't care what nobody says. I don't care unless your brain is just mush, or your brain. No one wants to be in jail for the rest of their life, or wants to be put to death. I don't care. They can talk tough. They can say it doesn't bother them, but to sit in jail and be told what to do every single day, be told where to go, what time to go to bed, what time to get up. There's no women nor men in the jail. You'll never be able to hug your family or whatever. That's not worth it. And plus, you took a life, especially in the prime. They didn't even really have a life. They were kids. They didn't get to fulfill anything that they could have done, and there's nobody. What could somebody have done that would make you so angry or hate that person so much that you would want to harm somebody in their family? Because basically, I don't think that it's really, they call them, they're rival gangs, but why are they rivaling? It seems like it starts off, we all might have been friends or associates or something, and because we live on the other side of the street or around the corner, we're rivals. So you really don't have a legitimate reason why you guys are, or you're going after people. Is just, seems like it's the way of the streets. That's just the law. You could be my cousin, and because you live down on that corner and I live here, we're rivals, but we're related. It just doesn't, I don't understand how people can't see what that means. That you're actually that it actually means nothing, that you're doing this for nothing. For kids to understand that if you get into this, you're liable to make it till you're 15 or 21 or whatever, and accept that is just boggles my mind. That sounds like people who just don't have a want to live, or I don't know. We have a lot of hurt people. We have a lot of people that's on the side of evil, and like I said, people take right and make it wrong, and then take wrong and make it right, and the world is so backwards and so upside down that you don't know what side anybody's on, and all of the rest of us are in the middle trapped in between the two, and based on however where you live or whatever, how you can get mixed up in it, and could just be walking home or going to the store or whatever, and then your life is over. um, there's no farewell. I mean, sure, your name will get in the papers, and people will say that's terrible, those kids didn't deserve that, and then tomorrow you'll be forgotten, and another tragedy will happen. I don't know if, well, if you look up what a reprobate mind, I think that's how you pronounce it, means, is it just like you sit, if you can change a person's personality, you can change a person's mannerism if by the way you treat them. So if you're a child and you come into the world, you're leaning on your parent to mold you. So if the parent is loving and kisses all over the baby and talks to the baby and feeds and makes sure they're happy and dry, and they're usually, you can tell baby's always smiling or happy, or or whatever. But if you do the opposite, you can tell. Child's usually withdrawn and cries a lot, doesn't always seems always not to be happy, and just not happy, not content. But if you take, so what I'm thinking is, because I don't know if there's an age limit, I don't know if they say, man, you're too, well, it must be one, because I hear the words jumping off the porch or whatever. But if you take this child, this 12-year-old child, and maybe they get to hang around, not really involve themselves in the situation, but they get to hang around and do errands or whatever, and you continuously are seeing these things, because I would think that at 14, 12, 11, if you're hanging around with these group of guys who are engaging in this, that you would be in danger yourself. You're hanging around and somebody comes by and does whatever, you have to duck or run or whatever also. So this you see in your mind over and over, and then you hear those are our ops, and then you hear them talking, they make a rap song, and it's just pushed in your head over and over. I wonder if anybody gets to say why are we after them? What did just because it all seems like it just started from nothing, and then it snowballed, and so then now people are really ops, because you have begun. People are being unalived. You unalived his cousin, and now somebody in your whatever has to be. We have to have our revenge, and it's just crazy, because it's usually a person who has nothing to do with what's going on that is being hurt. Now, I did hear that the person that they have all kinds of theories, but they're saying one of the persons that was at the party, or could have been a target, him or his people um, targeted the other person's grandparents and shot into their house. Now they survived, but that's only by the grace of God, or because of whatever reason, they are still here. But that wasn't the intention. Someone goes to do that to your house, they intend. This is what I want to ask, because I try to understand some of the what they're talking about. So I ask questions. I know people who are in the streets or who are doing certain things. I ask questions. But I had a friend, and he had been shot 7 times, not 7 separate times, 7 times at once. And he said the person who shot him was not trying to unalive him, and I could not understand why he would say that. He shot you 7 times. Why wasn't he trying to unalive you? And he told me because if he wanted him unalived, he would have shot him in the head. So, okay, so that's the code, so he understood. I guess maybe what was he trying to paralyze you? I don't know, but that was his thinking, that, or maybe that's the thinking of everyone. Because I'm thinking if you shoot somebody 7 times, most people wouldn't make it. Maybe I'm wrong. But that was his theory, that, he wasn't trying to do that. Well, I couldn't imagine having to live watching everywhere I go, whatever I do. When you get in the car, you have to be mindful of what street you're driving on, or who's pulling up beside you, or whatever. And then that's the way you have to live for the rest of your life, I guess, until, I don't know if there's a retirement. I have no clue. And I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything that just terrorizes people, that hurt people, that do things to especially minorities, because we don't need help destroying ourselves. We don't need help trying to wipe us out. We can just live life and possibly not be around. But here we are not taken into the fact that this was the lives of our ancestors. Except back then, it was okay to do what they were doing to them, and they were sticking together because it was being done to all of them. So if you really think about it, it probably was in the plan that we can make them hurt themselves, and that was the plan. There's no ifs, ands, buts. We had no control over the world ever. We had no control of what gets shipped into our countries. We don't have any control of any laws that are being made. We don't have any control of anything. So whatever plan was, the plan wasn't made by any of us. Some people might think they are closer to being um, making rules, but they found out that they weren't. You'll be shown that you weren't if you go overboard. If you try to do it on your own and not listen to what who's in charge really has to say, then you'll find out that you're not. You don't make any rules. You don't do anything. You do as you're told. And so I just don't understand what it would take. I know they said there was one time that they had a peace, whatever, there was a peace. Um, I don't know how that got broken. I don't know how, if it was just supposed to be for a little bit of time or just to show that we can come together or what, but I don't know if, what ended that. Um, there we can live together without violence. It can be done. I think of the Million Man March when all you could see was a sea of black men just from as far as you could see, and they were really packed together, and there wasn't any type of turmoil, any type of violence, any type of anything. It was them together being unified, because they all had one goal, and I believe the goal was to prove that black men can come together. Now, I don't know if we're just too far. Well, we are too far into evil and to change everyone's mind to talk sense into everyone, because not everybody's going to want to. Maybe they like what they're doing. Maybe living on the edge is a thrill, or I don't know. Maybe people don't feel like the world is worth living. I really don't know, but it's just sad that we can't ever just go a day or just go without harming one of us, without taking innocent lives. And then so the propaganda is they show all of this on TV, because of course they have control. We don't. And other countries think this is the type of people we are. They don't see all the the good stuff, all the good people that are doing good things, and that are being productive and doing all kinds of things. They're not going to see that because they're in control of the media. And so you'll wonder why, when you go to other countries, that how they treat you, or unless they know that you're a celebrity or that you have a lot of money, how they would treat you, because of how they're told or how they're shown. This is what all black people do. This is what all minorities are involved in. This is what they don't further their education. They don't go to college. They don't find jobs. They don't graduate. They have baby daddies and baby mamas. They don't get married. They're on drugs and sell drugs, and if they're driving a fancy cars because they're drug dealer or whatever. This is what is put out into the universe about minorities, black people, and other minorities. And it's just accepted. It just people just go along with it. We have people here and there that try to come up with solutions on how to make the community better, but it's not widespread. You don't like I've never followed Minister Farrakhan ever, but for him to voice what needed to be done, and it was done. We need 1,000,000 men at the Capitol. We need them, and we need nonviolence, and we need strong men to show them we can be together and come together. And I'm probably sure there was a lot of people that felt proud for a while about that, even though nothing really came of it. That we need a vocal and visible way of letting people know it's time to come together, or it's time to stop. Even if you don't want to come together, you don't have to harm or take away from. You don't want to be with these people and they live on that block. Well, actually, nobody owns any of the blocks or the streets or the sidewalk or the grass. You just don't go around them. You stay away from them. It doesn't cause you, I don't know, it's disrespectful to drive on a street that you don't live on. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But it seems unfair to me. It seems just has no kind of sense. And I always come back to sin doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. At all. If you're doing wrong for whatever reason that you choose to. But what is your goal? What is the outcome that that you're looking for when you're doing something senseless? If you want to go to jail, there's other ways that you can get there without having to take someone's life. You can break in somewhere and get some time, and if you want to stay forever, just just stay. I don't get it. I don't understand. I wish I could understand, but I don't want to understand, if that makes sense. I just know that my people are being harmed by everyone, every side of the world, everybody. It's not just this group of people or just this group of people. We're attacked by our own. We're attacked by everyone else, and it just doesn't make any sense to me that we would be willing to help attack ourselves, attack our people, that we would be willing to stand up for this. This is your life was given to you. No one has the right to take it, and we are just letting it be taken. People don't think about anything else but what is satisfying them at the moment, or what they can get out of whatever they're doing, or how they can benefit. No compassion about anybody, hardly compassion for their own kids, because there are still men who get up and walk away and go, that's not my baby, and I don't like her, so I don't want her to be my baby mama, and I don't like him, and so I'm not going to let him see this. You know, it's just we have every single stereotype imagined. Um, it's sad. It's sad. Um, that's why people who really truly are serving the Lord, or who believe in the Lord, or who believe in hope or whatever, needs to continuously pray for the world. And when you can praying for the world, you're actually praying for yourself, because you're, like I say, you can go anywhere outside your home and possibly not make it back. You don't have to be, you know, a gangster. You don't have to be people who jack cars or anything. You can be a grandmother. You can be a little kid, an auntie, an infant, um, and go out into the world for innocent reasons, just living, and not make it back home. And I get tired of people here saying, you know, well, it was their time. Um, I'm not quite sure about that. I don't think little babies have time. Um, what would be the purpose of giving a baby life and 2 weeks later taking it? I believe the the weight of sin just has taken over everything. You can't um, get away from it. So it affects everything, everyone, and that's, you know, it just spreads. Um, and it gets in, people get infected with it, and depending on how your mind is already going, how you react to, you know, what is going on around you. Um, people just, it just seems like people aren't happy unless they're being satisfied in some kind of way. I don't, you know, either it's having a lot of money and being able to do whatever you want to at whatever given time, or maybe it's sex, just the feeling of the act, or maybe it's food or drink or whatever. It just seems like this world is based on how how people feel, how things make people feel. And so if you find something that makes you feel good, and you want that feeling all the time, you're going to continue to do what makes you feel good. I stopped a little, I fell off a little bit, but I used to study serial killers, because I couldn't, in my mind, I wondered why they thought, you know, what makes them tick. Is there really just sane people that go out and do this kind of thing? And what most of them say is they had a desire at first to see what it felt like to to, you know, be in charge of someone's life or whatever. And once they got that feeling satisfied, they couldn't stop, because they liked that feeling. They wanted to feel that over. And that's how you get it, you know, why they're called serial, because they continue to do it over and over and over and again until they're caught. And that's not a normal person. That's not a normal human being that enjoys seeing someone suffer, enjoys choking the life out of somebody. That's not normal. I believe sin gets in everywhere, gets in people's minds, and somehow your DNA is full of it, or it could be, or just the devil just hounds you all the time. You don't have time to have your own thoughts, or just it's just evil. And the only way to escape it is to look for something that is good. Look for something that you can believe in or trust, or look for something that turn away from what makes you feel good, and try to find things that make you happy. Or it might sound like the same thing, but what I mean is, by the happy is you're satisfied with your life. You're not down in the dumps every single day. You're not looking for something every single day. You can ride a bike in the park and smell the flowers, or look at the water, and that makes you smile. We don't seem to look at all of the nature around us and what was created to be happy. We have to have false things, or false, or some kind of thing that is not really, may not be what you should be doing to make you feel good. I put it that way. So yeah, that was the what was in the news this week. Also, there was, believe on the same week or the same day, there was a shooting in the mall, also in California. And somebody made a very good point. Now, if Trump says we're going to send the National Guard to California, they'll be in an uproar and saying, we don't want you here. We don't want, but what choice is there to, do you want to feel safe? Do you want to be safe? Do you want to be able to walk on the streets? Or do you want to be able to get gas in your car, or food for your kids? What choice is there? I don't know. I don't have the answers. Only, all I know is that without God in your life, you're going to be confused, and you're going to be angry all the time, and all kinds of feelings. If you don't have anything that you can good to believe in, or you don't have a spirit of kindness or lovingness or anything like that, you're always going to be angry. And maybe when you're angry, you do things that you normally wouldn't do, and that you're sorry for, but it's too late because you did them. Find something that makes you happy, and just focus on that. If you like to sew, if you like to write music, if you like to play basketball, cook, whatever it is, try to do that once a week. If you like reading books, read books. Just, if you like spending time with your kids, play board games. If you like spending time with your girlfriend, your wife, husband, whatever, watch a movie, the first movie that you guys went to the movie theater to see, and remember when we were, do stuff that makes you happy, that you can remember. I remember when I don't drink coffee. I try to sometimes. I don't really like coffee, but it reminds me of how my grandmother's house smelled, because she used to brew coffee every morning when we would go down before school. And so I bought a coffee maker just so that I could make coffee to make my house smell that way. And it would make me happy. It would make me, remember when I was a kid, and going to my grandmother's house, and she baking cookies or making a cake or a peach cobbler or whatever. if there's something that you remember that was good, that was um, special to you, or makes you feel happy, or gives you a good feeling, try and do that, and instead of looking for a way to remove, you know, well, I guess it would be painful memories. You still have to pray for, God to take those away, um, and He will. But you also have to help yourself into um, thinking the opposite, not trying to remember. We all want we it's called the past, and so let's try not to live in it, or make the past our future, or make the past our present. If you were able to come through that, um, make it through that, you can go even further and get past that and never have to visit that dark place again. Um, it works. You you just have to believe and trust, and know that you're not. It's not your punishment. It's not your. The world is not here to punish you, or to make you feel bad, or to make you feel like you're not better. That's people that live in the world. God had intended and had made everyone the same, as far as how He loves us and how we were to live. Because of sin and Satan, the dynamic has changed, and people have turned away and have turned to bad things, and it's just all over the place. You have to be very sure of the situations that you put yourself in, um, the people that you surround yourself with, um, just the things that you do, and it would be worth it. There's nothing here on this earth that is worth. I mean, sure, if you have money, you can travel and do all kinds of things. You can, and that's nice. That's nice. But God had already promised that you will not. What you see in heaven, what you will get in heaven, what you will endure in heaven, you have never seen before. You have never visited a place like heaven. You've never done anything close, than the feeling you'll get when you're worry free and pain free, and God, you can sit and listen to Him just talk to you and tell you how He waited for you, and how He knew you would make it. um I truly hope people do believe that, and if you don't, I pray that you would open up your mind and your heart to understand that. I didn't always think this way. I did not. I I was right there. I was right there. Um, and when I knew there was no way out but through God, that's when my life, I'm telling you, it took a different turn. I don't have to I don't worry. I feel at peace. I feel calm, and that my priorities are different, and I like to see people happy, and so I try and do things to make other people happy, because that makes me happy. Just to see someone smile, or you made somebody's day, which they thought their day was going, just those type of things. And there's a lot of people out there like me. There's a lot. And sometimes if there's few and it's rare, you're probably looked at as different, but that's okay. I also was born with what is it? I was taught that I can stand alone. I don't have to have anyone with me, just the Lord. And it doesn't bother me to be the only one who is in the group. I still believe that you can change people's minds and hearts by the way you treat them. And you just don't know. God puts you in certain positions, puts you in people's lives for a reason, and you're there and you have work to do. And if you don't, or if you're not fully grounded in Him, you'll mess up that job, because it's not you. It's Him using you to show the person that God loves them. So when you do something for somebody, it's not from you. You could go up to a stranger and give them a $20 bill and just say that's not from you. You didn't even know that person. You don't know why you guys met at that particular moment. You don't know what that person was going through. You don't know what that person prayed for. You don't know anything. But God might have just put in your head, there's the man that's coming right near, or the woman that's coming close to you, give her this money. And you do. And you just go on about your day, because it's not for you. It's not your understanding. Your understanding is God protects you. God gives you blessings. God makes sure you're good. And so He, in turn, is using you to do the same for someone else. And so there's no questions, and you just do what you do. Hopefully, I will have a good story to talk about next time. I hope everyone is doing well, family is well. Just keep holding on and trusting in God and praying. And I truly know that you will see a change if you do that. And until next time.